Hello everyone. Beside COVID-19, one of the hottest topic around today is cryptocurrency. Is the price going up? Is the price coming down? My name is Richard Tan from Success Resources. We are the world leading educational provider. Every week, I'll be making video talking about cryptocurrency investing. And if this is a topic you'd like to learn more about, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Just click below the thumbs up and also the notification so that whenever we have a video, you are the very first to know. Okay, we have very exciting program coming up right now. And over the last couple of days, there are many good news and there are also some bad news. Yeah. So how does all this going to affect our investment strategy and skill? We today has a very interesting and very knowledgeable guru and investor here to answer this question. So now, Bitcoin price has been going sideways. It's still about 34, 35, 36, over the last 1 week. And how is this news and what is happening right now going to affect the price? Is it going up? Is it coming down? The good news and the bad news. Okay, the bad news again is coming out of China. China being the world largest mining operation right there and the biggest pool, right, for Bitcoin. So any news that came up from China is going to impact the Bitcoin price. So the first news, okay, the first news from China is that China just arrest 110 suspect, I think criminal, right? For laundering illicit fund through crypto. So the news came out and it caused the market to make adjustment. And it's been said that the launderer charged the criminal customer 1.5 to 5% fee to convert their money into digital currency. Now, all these people are actually, they scam other people, and with the fiat currency, they convert to cryptocurrency. So this is one of the news. Now, the other news that we have is good news, right? It's good news. So the good news actually came from another big country that has a huge population. In fact, they have more than 1 billion people there. Well, just second to China, and that is in India. Yeah. So somewhere in March, India banned cryptocurrency and caused the market to shiver. And then in last 2 weeks ago, they emphasized on it again. But the good news is that cryptocurrency in China, right? The government has made a U-turn. The government has made a U-turn to not totally ban cryptocurrency, but to redefine cryptocurrency as a asset, right? As a asset. Now, the other news that came about, good news that came about, is that for the very first time, a sovereign nation, El Salvador, has adopted cryptocurrency as a legal tender. It caused a lot of excitement in the market, where the first country accept and adopt cryptocurrency. Now, after that, 10 other countries are likely to adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender. So let me just share with you the news. Okay, one of it is Panama, Latin American country. Then we have Nigeria. Nigeria is has the world largest crypto involvement by the population. Okay, then Paraguay, and then very likely Mexico, Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, will be involved. Now, in Asia, we have Japan. Now, Japan probably won't adopt crypto as its legal tender, but the Japanese love cryptocurrency. Okay, Ukraine and the Philippines. So we have today an amazing, very knowledgeable friend of mine, and also has been a teacher to many thousands of people around the world. He's none other than Dr. Clement Chan. So we have Dr. Clement Chan here. So give a big hand to Dr. Clement Chan, right? So Dr. Clement Chan is here, and I'm going to with that introduction, I'm going to ask him a few questions. And I myself can't wait to know the answer to this question. So Dr. Clement Chang, with the news that I've shown just now, what is the view that you have on this news, and what impact it has to us, ordinary people as crypto investor?
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, my great teacher, Richard. You are the teacher of all teachers. And then thank you so much for having me in your show so that I can give some clarification to all your audience about what's the latest development about Bitcoin. And you have raised very, very important issues. Number one, about the current price fluctuations of Bitcoin. Number two, how do we look at the actions taken by the Chinese government? And number three, we also look at India, who has reversed its decision about Bitcoin. And most importantly, the concept about legal tender. El Salvador taken the first steps, and you have shown us 10 other countries ready to follow in the footsteps of making Bitcoin a legal tender. That is a great start to today's show. So thank you so much, Richard, for having me in your show. First of all, I want to switch my screen over right here to take a look at the current pricing of Bitcoin. And I think we have a really, really important sweet spot right now. And that's the reason why we're going to look at the month of November. I'm going to adjust the screen such that you can see at the bottom is the month of November. And here we go. This is starting from November, December, starting January 2021. And of course, right now we are in the month of June. Now, why is it important for us to identify November? Because I'm going to share with you exactly what you just asked me. Back then, the lowest price was trading at 12,888. Wow, really beautiful number. 12, what? That's how we Chinese call it, all right? And with that, we're going to address the very first important question. Why did the Chinese government go after 1,100 people who are trading on Bitcoin? So with this, I want to share with you this very important article that was published on 6th of November. And I want all of you to take note of this very important concept. US seizes $1 billion worth of Bitcoin linked to Silk Road site. Now, the word is called seizes, confiscate, or take away by force. And this is dated 6th of November. Now, we know that if you want to seize anything or take over anything, that thing must be valuable to begin with. It must have a value, or else the government will not harness all their resources, activate the FBI, the police to go after something that is total waste of time, of worthless value. So, first concept, obviously Bitcoin is valuable. Wow. And the second important concept is this. The US took this action on 6th of November, and guess what? Holy moly! 21 days later, on 27th of November, the Chinese took the inspiration from the Americans and replicated the same step, and they produced 4 times more results. They confiscated 4 billion worth of Bitcoin. So we really got to look at this with a twisted mind. Concept number 2, the Americans went after the Bitcoin, and the Chinese also copycated the same idea, but 4 times more results, 4 billion. And all this happened in November. And ladies and gentlemen, can we please focus our attention right now? What was the price range of Bitcoin back then in November? It was trading at between $12,000 to $20,000. And obviously, it went to an all-time high of 64,000. Can you imagine how much revenues has increased for the government coffers of the US and the Chinese government? Holy moly! So this first important concept is we got to look at it with a twisted mind. And when we look at it with a twisted mind, we begin to realize that obviously, concept number 1, Bitcoin is valuable. If not, the government would not go out there to seize the Bitcoin. And we all know that the moment you seize, the step 2 is you must put it up for auction. we have not heard a single piece of news from the US government and from the Chinese government. Have they put up the Bitcoin for auction? Nah, complete silence.
They kept it.
They kept it for themselves. So this is a very, very important concept. So this whole idea about going after people and having a long name list, we knew about this since 2016, 17. Back then, the Chinese government had been doing that already. And the concept number 2 is this. As a consequence of the actions, many of these crypto players start to get out of China, get out of US, and their favorite playground right now happens to be Singapore. Most of them right now are in Singapore. And, you know, we are plugged in the community. Singapore is like a safe place for them. They are not being harassed by the journalists. They are not being harassed by the government agencies because they are doing a legitimate business. It's just that the climate right now for them in the US and in China itself is not conducive for them. So concept number 2, what have we learned from this seizure is that, hey, you must look at it with a twisted mind. Something that is worthless, then is worth the government to go after. So we pick out this very important concept. Now, next thing is about India. Richard, you bring a very important point about India. How could a government reverse its decision? Originally, they wanted to ban Bitcoin. And right now they say, hey, let's approve Bitcoin so that we can find a way to tax those guys who own Bitcoin. And this is again the same thinking. How do we or how do the governments increase the revenue intake from the government perspective? So governments all about tax collection. They collect taxes as a form of income, so that this money can go on out there to build roads, bridges, build government housing, and all this infrastructure work need money. So step 1, they must think about how to collect the money. Then step 2, how to spend the money. So again, it is resonating with our whole ideology that perhaps this is a valuable asset class that they don't want to talk about it. And over 700 million people today have a breakthrough in their income ceiling because Bitcoin is a decentralized asset. Somebody ordinary out there can become extraordinary simply because they took their time to invest in the new technology of the era. And finally, concept number 3. The concept number 3 about legal tender. El Salvador took the first step. And those countries, you know, Richard, that you share with us, from Panama to Brazil, and these are the countries where they feel they got so disadvantaged by first world countries out there. They got nothing to compete at all. And as a result, they say, hey, we got to survive as a little country of our own. And the only way to survive is, why don't we take the first step, accept Bitcoin as a legal tender, in order to attract all the big crypto traders of the world to go to their country and set up their bases. That is their thinking right now, so that they still have a chance to compete with first world country, second world countries, and so on. And that is the thinking. So this is really, really fantastic news. And thank you for bringing up to our attention, Richard.
Dr. Clement, I have just thought too, because El Salvador is a sovereign country, and when they adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender, it makes a very, very big jump in the reputation or legitimacy of Bitcoin. Say, for example, say between Singapore and maybe Philippines, right? Philippines is using peso, but you can't say that don't accept peso. Let's say peso, the Filipino come to Singapore and spend their peso. You can don't accept peso, but you cannot say that peso is an illegal currency. Yeah. So because for a sovereign country to have a legal tender, you can't say that. You can choose not to accept it, but you can't say that it is illegal. Am I right to say that?
Yes, Richard, that's the concept of legal tender.
So it gives Bitcoin a different status, because in the past, people got excited because a bank introduce or accept Bitcoin as part of their investment portfolio, or a certain say fund, adopt Bitcoin as another investment tool. But when a sovereign country adopt it as a legal tender, it gives Bitcoin a different status, right? A higher status.
In fact, this will be catching up. So it's always the first mover. So right now we are looking at the country level, all the 200 approved countries under United Nations. El Salvador is the first one to take the first step. And because they want to be the first mover, and thereby the second, third, fourth, the rest will come in over time. So it's a question of who wants to take the first mover, and the actual consequence of making Bitcoin a legal tender for a country itself. It means that when you step into El Salvador today and someone gives you Bitcoin, you cannot reject. If you reject it, the government has the right to catch you and put you behind bars. That's the power of legal tender.
Okay, is the Bitcoin price going up? Is the Bitcoin price going down? With this news, you decide for yourself. So Dr. Chan, I'm going to ask you the second question. Okay, now, many of us become panicked when Bitcoin price drop or it goes sideways. Yeah, because many ordinary people invest in April, May, right? And then the price plummeted. Now, out there in the US, there's this guy called Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor, he's a CEO of MicroStrategy, and he ramped up by wanting to borrow 400 million to invest in Bitcoin, but actually he borrowed more, 500 million to invest in Bitcoin. That's a lot of money. Now, so Dr. Kremer, I want to ask you, what do you think is behind Michael Saylor's mind, and should we ordinary investors follow? And if so, what should we do? What is in his mind?
Wow, that's a great question, Richard. And first of all, I want to again give you all the 3 points to understand about MicroStrategy as a public listed company on US exchanges. And more importantly, who are backing MicroStrategy. So this is what we found out, because we are into the world of insider trading. Number one, the largest shareholder of MicroStrategy today is BlackRock.
Wow.
It also means that for whatever that they do, BlackRock must give the thumbs up.
I think they got like several $1 trillion of fund or something like that, right?
Yes, they have $3 trillion asset under management. That's the largest fund manager on planet Earth. That's BlackRock, all right? Now, who is the shareholder of BlackRock? That's what I'm more interested in. And I got good news to share with everyone. The shareholder of BlackRock happens to be the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Singapore. That's Temasek. So you have to look at Michael Saylor as the company, the shareholder above him, BlackRock, and the shareholder of BlackRock is Temasek. Wow. So this entire chain gives us an insight what the biggest money managers out there are thinking about Bitcoin as an instrument. So once we get this first concept right, then we go into second important concept. I want to bring all of us to bitcointreasuries.org. This is the website that tracks all public companies when they declare that they own Bitcoin, and their job is to go out there and verify on the blockchain, is this real or fake news? And I want to scroll down over here and check this out. Public companies that own Bitcoin. Wow. And when you see this big, bold statement out here, and who is number one? Richard, you're spot on. There's none other than MicroStrategy. They have 92,000 Bitcoin in their treasury today. That is worth $3.3 billion. And of this $3.3 billion, because we know that Bitcoin is a scarce asset, limited supply by 21 million coins only, they only control 0.438% of the entire universe of Bitcoin. Now, that clearly teaches us one very important lesson. Bitcoin is decentralized. And according to the CEO of Binance CZ, he says that there are about 700 million Bitcoin owners today. And the biggest of them all is none other than MicroStrategy, right up here. So second concept is really important because, Richard, you asked a very important question. This week, they are going out to the marketplace, Michael Saylor, to raise another $500,000. To do what? Just one thing. To buy more Bitcoin. Because he spotted this as a pricing opportunity where the price of Bitcoin right now is to him a valuable price range. So this is the point in time I'll zoom in over here to let everybody understand what is the important price range, and that is the 40,000 to the 30,000 important price range. Because over here, we learn one very important thing, and that is this. Right here in this really huge candle, let me just do it one more time, 40,000 to 30,000, and we start from here, and we go up to here. And one very important candle is this large green candle here. This is called the Elon Musk candle, because that is the day Elon Musk announced that Tesla has bought up $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin.
What is that price?
His price, we calculated, is 33333. That is his, I think, his average price. And again, we also look at this candle here. This is also called the Elon Musk candle because that is the day he announced that Tesla has stopped accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment. And we call it, that's the day of denouncement. And as a result, it sent the market going down again, all right? So we look at these two price points and we say that, hey, today we are right here between the 30 to 40,000 range. It has been floating around for the past few days. And what is the next direction? And the next direction we have to think about is, will it go up? Or will it go down? Or will it continue to go sideways? This is the heart of the debate. And the guy leading the whole movement is none other than MicroStrategy right up here. Here we go. That is the guy right there.
Okay, so the question here is this. What is in his mind? What is behind his mind? And should we as ordinary investor follow? And if so, what can we do?
And that's a very important question because, again, Richard, it relates to the price point. And I want to share with every one of you, take out pen and paper and write down this magical number. The magical number is this, 25250. Please write it down.
Write down, 25250.
That's like buying a 2525. So $25,250. This is the average price of the 92,000 Bitcoins that Michael Saylor has bought out in the market. And he declared openly, that is my average price. It is also sending out a signal to everyone in the market, do not mess up my price. So he will protect his 25250 at all costs. That's why he's preparing a war chest of another $500 million to protect this price. So there are three possible scenarios, Richard. Scenario number one, at the price of Bitcoin right now, as it falls and near towards 25250, Michael Saylor will be out there protecting his price. He will buy up whatever or whoever is selling Bitcoin. That's scenario number one. Until, of course, his war chest runs out and he's run out of bullets and ammunition. Scenario number two, if he runs out of ammunition, it will break below 25250. Now, once it breaks that, then we call that a death cross. In our last presentation, we spoke briefly about the death cross, and I want to take this opportunity to show everyone how do you go about plotting a death cross on your own chart. Richard, do you think this will be interesting for everybody to learn?
I remember the 200-day moving average and the 50-day or the 50-day moving average, that cross.
Yes, that's a great, you got a great memories right here. And we got to go inside here and kind of do a little editing. And I think this is really important. So I kind of put out the cross right out here. I'm trying to edit right now. Maybe we show it on the next segment, but the concept is this. When the 50-day crosses below the 200-day moving average, that is the point where we need to learn this word called capitulation, bloodshed. So this is the second possible scenario. If it breaks below 25250, it will go on a free fall and you drop all the way to half of this value. So we calculated that as $12,500. That is scenario number 2. Scenario number 3, we talked about it previously also, that what happens if it breaks above 40,000? Now, this is the one that every one of us, we are waiting for the big news about Bitcoin ETF. And I'm sure, Richard, you're also thinking about this issue. And that is the moment that we're waiting for.
Okay. Now, I heard someone say this, right? When, I can't remember, was it Warren Buffett or some guru say this? When the market become greedy, you get ready to sell. When the market is fearful and full of blood, you better get in and buy. Even though if it's your own blood, you better get in and buy.
And that's absolutely right. We got to go in as a contrarian investor. When everybody's selling, that's the time to buy. When everybody buying, that's the time to sell. So this has really worked out well for the top insiders on planet Earth, people like Warren Buffett, people like George Soros, who shorted the Bank of England. These are all compelling stories for us to learn from the past and that we can apply right now in our very own portfolio.
So this is a great opportunity for those of you who has a heart of steel. Now, if your heart are made of sugar and milk, then too bad for you. So even though you are bleeding right now, it is time, for you to make some serious action for your future. Okay, just like Michael Saylor is doing. He is no fool. Maybe some of you may be interested to do that. Okay, the third question, Dr. Clement, is what you mentioned just now, because for every crypto investor, whether institution or individual, they're all looking forward to the SEC approval of EFT, right? And there is a lot of, I think there are maybe 8 or 9 or 10 submission for SEC ETF approval. They all expect that if or when this ETF approved, Bitcoin price will rocket all the way to the moon. Yeah, so that's what they all out there are expecting. Now, all these are very technical to many of us, all the viewer that is now in this program. Can you explain to us in layman terms what actually is ETF and how will this approval cause the Bitcoin price or BTC price to rocket to the moon? And when will this expect to happen?
Wow. These are very great questions, Richard. And again, I want to take you and all of our audience through 3 very important concepts. Concept number 1, we need to know who is this guy called Gary Gensler. Today, he's appointed the chairman of Securities Exchange Commission that regulates all public companies. And he's also put on the task to regulate cryptocurrency, in particularly Bitcoin. So what do we know about this man? Before he became and appointed as a government official, he was actually teaching at MIT, one of the top universities in the world. And the subject that he's teaching is actually blockchain. So he is already acknowledged as an expert in cryptocurrency blockchain development when he was lecturing at MIT. That is a very important concept. As a result, the expectation from the market from Chairman Gensler is that most likely he will give a green light to the approval of Bitcoin ETF. Then we go to concept number 2. Why there are many private companies and collectively they are assembling the Bitcoin ETF submission to Securities Exchange Commission to seek approval. Now, I want to give you some names like Fidelity, WisdomTree, Wilshire Phoenix, Van Eck, First Trust, Skybridge. There are at least a dozen applications right now on queue. The next one that's going to be reviewed is actually Van Eck, month of June, this month. Wow. Right? It was postponed from April to currently this month, June. We are just waiting for the signal. But this is what the market is telling us. most likely this year will not see any approval. The earliest will probably in the year 2022. But you know, the market is a very strange market. When everybody least expected it, it may just come as a surprise. We really never ever know about this, just like the recent approval of the cure for Alzheimer's disease.
Wow.
That was approved by FDA. Nobody expected it for the last 20 years, and it just came, bam, the stock price shot to the moon. So everybody just stand by. Let's wait for this approval. But concept number 3 is really important to beef up our confidence about this particular play. And that is this. I want to share with you already the neighbor of US, that is Canada, has already approved Bitcoin ETF.
Oh.
And they have attracted $1 billion. And concept number 3 is, what exactly is ETF? It stands for Exchange Traded Fund. So many of the big, powerful investors, instead of going out there to the market to buy Bitcoin as an asset, they prefer to invest into an asset class known as Exchange Traded Fund, so that they can mitigate their risk and they can balance their portfolio. And that's why the world is excited, because all the traditional institutions, fund managers, they just want to buy into an ETF instead of buying Bitcoin directly. So this is the moment we are waiting for. We are talking about pension funds. We are talking about retirement funds. We are talking about every ordinary man money that is waiting to explode by investing directly into a Bitcoin ETF. That's why this is so huge.
Wow, wow, I can see that. Now, because Bitcoin has limited 21 million limited. So when more money come in, it simply means that, you know, the price will go up, right? I mean, the capitalization will go up, right? So everybody is so excited about this.
Yes, so that relates to the concept of Bitcoin halving, as well as the limited supply of 21 million Bitcoins. So in order for us to hit the full 21 million Bitcoins, the miners have to go and mine out the coin. So this is what's happening. As a result, Satoshi Son, the so-called inventor of Bitcoin, wrote into the algorithm, every 4 years, we must experience a Bitcoin halving event to reduce the rewards payout to the miners for mining out Bitcoin. Now, today, as we stand, already 18 million Bitcoins were mined floating in the marketplace. So last year, 2020, was the third Bitcoin halving event. And the next one that we can really look forward to is 2024. Which is 3 years, 3 years from now. That will be the fourth Bitcoin halving event. And usually in a halving event, once that is done, price will shoot up. So we've seen that in the first Bitcoin halving event, within 1 year, price of Bitcoin shot up 92 times.
Wow.
The second halving event, price of Bitcoin shot up 29 times. That's 2,900% in 1 year. The third halving event, we already passed through 1 year. We are waiting for it to shoot up at least 10 times. 10 times, meaning to say we track from the first day of the Bitcoin halving last year, that was 12th of May, averagely is trading between $8,000 to $9,000 per coin. Now you should expect at least price of Bitcoin to hit between $80,000 to $90,000. Wow. That's what everybody is waiting for this moment.
Okay, so as ordinary person, you can look at this milestone, right? So if you say next year, ETF, the schedule or expected date for ETF is 1 year. When ETF approved, everybody expect more money coming in and price going up. So that is one milestone. So can you wait for 1 year? That's it. Or can you wait for, better still, can you wait for the next another 3 more years, 2004, for it to multiply, for your investment to multiply 10 times. So just do. So touch your heart. Do you have a heart of gold to wait for 1 year? If not 1 year, for those who have a more solid heart, then 3 years, right? 3 years. So 1 year to 3 years to reap your result. So thank you, Clement, for this information and your wisdom. So finally, I just want to ask you one question before we go on. Now, we are going to organize a cryptocurrency investment seminar 2.0. Why 2.0? Because in 2018, when we organized this cryptocurrency investment seminar, we call it CIS, we were met with overwhelming respond. In fact, we organized 40 of them all over the world. Yeah, so we are going to organize this 2.0 cryptocurrency seminar 2.0. What is your comment for those who are interested in cryptocurrency?
Wow, this is like, you know, we have to really have a heart of gratitude to Richard, Success Resources, and everyone in the team for making this event a reality. So as all of us know that whatever has been taught, whatever has been predicted in 2018, when back then that was CIS version 1, everything came to pass. So my message to all of you is, this year, Richard is going to put together version 2.0. Don't miss it again. If you miss, you're going to like hammer yourself. Why did I miss it? How come I never set aside my time? So I want to give all of our audience 3 very important steps that you must take up. Number 1, please quickly go to the link below and register for the event and lock down your dates. I think these are the most important dates for this year, before the price spikes up. Now, most people say, oh, you know, Richard, Clement, I want to sit on my ass, wait for things to happen. Then you miss out the strategy. The whole strategy is catching the spikes before it went up. Don't went up, then you go in too late already. That's the reason why this is a golden opportunity that Richard, the greatest teacher of them all, is telling us. So number 2, after you lock down the dates, spend the next few weeks going through our videos. I think we put together a library of videos. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube and click on the bell button so that every time we go live, you are first to be notified so that you don't miss the contents that we share here. Everything that we share right now is so time sensitive. And likewise, you know, I really enjoy all these questions coming from Richard because it's very thought provoking. It makes us think about certain issues and help us to connect the dots. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube and get notified. And number 3, please go and comment and share with us what you think about what you have learned so far. Maybe there are some other areas that we have not explored. Let us know, because number 3, what I will ask Richard is, hey, Richard, who are the superstars that you're going to invite and inspire us and get us connect to the dots and then be equipped with wisdom? I'm looking forward to the event. I hope to see all of you there as well.
Hey, thank you, Clement. Thank you, Clement, for your sharing and your wisdom. So all of you are watching this video, we want to thank you and we want to wish you wealth, health, and happiness in your life. Till we see you again. Is the price going up? Is the price going down? Till we see you again. Thank you, Clement, and thank you, everyone of us.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you.